Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It's episode 61 and today we are going to be working in the drone. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Recently we have been doing a ton of work down in the industrial district. We have been doing a lot of builds, a lot of automation. We've been doing all sorts of smelting systems, storage systems, villager trading systems, villager farming systems. All of these things have been built and I've been absolutely loving it. Don't get me wrong, it's been hilariously good fun, but I feel like we've been spending a ton of time over here and sort of neglecting the thing that is up in the sky that is just in the process of loading in. I mean, this is my main base, okay? That thing right there, that's my actual base. This is like a side subsidiary area of my base, but we have been spending a ton of time over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to be ditching the industrial district for today's episode, and we're going to be cracking on with a project that I've been meaning to do for a very long time indeed. As you guys know, we have got a ton of chests up at the top there, and we need to fill them. We need to fill them with items, and the best way to fill chests with items is to do it using redstone. We're going to be building my automatic sorting system in today's episode. You guys have been asking for it down in the comment section. It's finally going to get done, and I'm ridiculously excited for it. So the first project of today's episode is we're going to be popping through into the end, and we're going to try our best to get ourselves a punch 2 bow, because as you guys have noticed, haven't been flying around too much recently, and that's simply because I lost my punch 2 bow. No clue where it went, probably placed it in a chest somewhere, completely forgot about it. Now you may notice I am filled up with ender pearls, and that's because I've been through to the end twice so far today, between those two clips. Now believe it or not, the first time I forgot my lapis, the second time I forgot any cobblestone, so I couldn't create any rubbish items to take up the rubbish enchantments. So that enchanting session would have been terrible. We wouldn't have been able to get anything. Which is, yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the backside. Clearly I'm in a bit of a spoon mood today, so prepare yourselves for a bit of a silly episode. Right, let's try again. 1, 2, 3, and hopefully this one's rubbish. No! Why? Oh my god, it's so annoying! I have just made a fairly painful realization. I went through a lot of enchantments right there. You can see these are all of the failed ones that I had at the end, and I used up all my sticks, I used up a ton of iron, all trying to get punch 2. Then I remembered that, well, we've got ourselves a punch 1 villager with an extremely good deal right here. Just 10 emeralds will give us punch 2. That's it. That's all it takes. I combine those books, chuck them on the bow, and then, well, job's done. Oh, I hate myself sometimes. I hate myself. So the first thing that we've got to do here is we've got to chuck in all of the hoppers. And I have to say, I feel like this is going to use a lot more hoppers than I was first expecting. This line right here, just this line of double stacked hoppers, this is 1.5 stacks of hoppers so far. 1.5 stacks of hoppers. How much iron is that? How many chests is that? I am actually worried about the number of resources we have here because, well, we might not quite have enough to cover it. This is going to be a little bit ridiculous, I have to say. Ladies and gents, there is a new wood provider in town and I like them quite a lot. Woodworld is amazing, so much better than the Logfellas. Let's just fill up my inventory here. We have got 9 diamonds and that gives us 18 stacks of wood. 18 stacks! That's enough for 9 stacks of hoppers, which we're probably going to need more than that, so we're going to be making more visits, but this place is mega. Thank you to everyone who has let me know down in the comment section that that place exists, because, well, you've just saved me a bunch of diamonds. All the hoppers running into all the chests are now all in place. So as you can see, they are now out the back. These are going to be taking the items from the item sorters and putting them into the storage system itself, which is all a good thing. That is the first step in the process. The only thing I will say is that this right here, what you can see on this side and on the other side as well, that has used 4 stacks of hoppers. Now, that's okay, because of course, we have our wood that we can get from Woodworld. That's nice and cheap nowadays, so that is just 4 diamonds. The only thing I will say is I'm a little bit worried about iron. I mean, as much as my iron farms are pretty good, I don't know if they're quite good enough to provide as much iron as they are right now. So far, we have used 20 stacks of iron just to do that bit, and I'd say we're around about 30% done in terms of iron usage, which naturally it has me a little bit concerned. Let's take a look in here. Oh boy, oh boy, this is bad. This is very bad. I'm assuming what's happened is, where's the iron golem? He's got stuck in the system. Oh no. So one of them is out of action for sure. Oh, I've got to check the other 2. I'm concerned now. Gonna start off with the bad news. Both these iron farms, they're completely out of action. There's an iron golem inside the system, it's stuck, that means it's not working. Good news is though, this one is functional, and this happens to be the one over the industrial district where I have been spending a bunch of time, which means we're loaded. We are absolutely loaded up with iron, and if this still isn't enough, we have this guy. We can just dismantle this. It's completely made of iron blocks. I think we should be fine. I don't have anything to worry about. The second stage of the process is almost completed. We just need to chuck in all of the final stone slabs going up at the top here, and that is that thing done. So we now have slabs on top of all of these chests. Not only does this look quite cool, but this allows us to place in the hoppers nice and easily. And if we just head over in this direction, I think I've done that correctly. If we just head over here, I've actually started planning out how we're going to have our hoppers, because of course we have to align them in a certain way to allow us to do all of the redstone. And that alignment is extremely tight, with plenty of potential for mistakes and powering of the incorrect things. So as you can see, we've got the hoppers right here, we've got the hoppers right here. I do believe we're going to have our line of hoppers running across next to these slabs right here, and then that's going to be where the actual sorting is. So the sorting will happen up at the top there, and the sorting will actually happen in this area here, I think. It is how it goes. So the items will run across the top like this in a hopper line going across there, and then that is where that item sorter is, and then we'll have another line of hoppers running across in that direction above this hopper, and then this is where the item sorter goes out here. So that is the calibration of hoppers right here. I guess now what I've got to do is actually chuck in all of those hoppers along these very long lines. Shouldn't take too long. Now, I just want to say I apologise to those of you out there who hate watching me build sorting systems. There are a few of you. I mean, there's quite a few popping up down in my comment section. There are just some people that whenever I build sorting systems, they're like, "Oh, I hate sorting systems. You always build sorting systems. I hate watching it. Dislike, unsubscribed, etc, etc." You know the drill. You've read YouTube comments before. And I do apologise if you don't particularly enjoy this sort of thing. Unfortunately, this one right here, this one's pretty necessary. Like, this is my most important sorting system. This is the one that I need because I've been using the one in my RV for 60 episodes now. It's very full, it's very unorganized, it's painful to use, I keep losing items. I mean, the start of today's episode was me losing my punch 2 bow and having to get another one. That happens far too often. So this is going to be the future of the Hermitcraft series. This is going to be where I'm storing all my items. I can't wait for it. I just apologise if you don't find this episode particularly interesting. There'll be plenty more in the future. Now, you might have noticed, if you've been watching closely, that we've been doing this build in stages. Stage number 1 was chucking in the hoppers that go into the chests. Stage number 2 was doing the half slab. Stage number 3 is the one that we've just done, and that is chucking in the hoppers for the sorting system. Stage number 4 is going to be crafting up the redstone components. Now, this normally wouldn't be a stage, but we've got a lot of crafting to do. I mean, seriously, this thing's huge. Okay, if you take a look over here, we have got our sorting system. We need 1 comparator, 1 repeater, 1 redstone torch, and 3 redstone dust, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's for every single line of hoppers. And this thing is a double layer system, so we have 2 layers of sorting systems, one on top of the other, and obviously this thing's pretty long. I mean, yeah, it's just... It's going to be a lot of redstone crafting. We're going to need hundreds upon hundreds of comparators, hundreds upon hundreds of repeaters, tons of redstone torches, just tons of everything, basically. So I'm going to pop over to the RV. I'm actually going to try my best to fly over there, and we will see what I can pick up, and we will see if I still know how to do this, which, by the look of things, I do. What a champion. I have not lost my touch. All of the stuff has been crafted, and I just want to try something. It's all well and good being able to fly from the drone to the RV, but can I fly from the RV up to the drone? I'm a little bit nervous here. Right, let's do it. Okay, I've made a good start. Oh, this is good. Come on, can we make it? Oh my god, we're almost there. That was probably one of the best things I've ever done in Minecraft. And you guys witnessed it. I'm not a total spoon. Sometimes I have my moments. They're rare, but they do happen. Now that I've calmed down a little bit from the coolness of that flight right there, I am now chucking in the redstone components for the sorting system. Of course, I have to make sure that I do this strategically, because otherwise I won't actually be able to do it. So we have to do the bottom layer first, which is the repeaters and the redstone torches, and let's just make sure that these line up with our hoppers. So those are all the repeaters. All of this has to be redstone up at the top, and then we're going to need redstone torches on the backs of these blocks, and then on the top layer we're going to have our comparator and our 2 redstone, and that all needs to go in as well. Progress is strong, ladies and gentlemen, and it has just stopped raining, which is a brilliant thing, because I hate rain in Minecraft. It really winds me up. You will be happy to know that 1/4 of our sorting system is now all in place once this comparator goes in. There it is. I am finally getting into the swing of things now. That little thing took quite a long time because I was just sort of messing everything up. I was getting everything wrong. But here we are. It's done. I believe the redstone torches are in place. They are all good. This is now live. This could be used. Fantastic. But of course, that is just 1/4 of the build. We have got to do the top layer. We have got to do the bottom layer of that side, and the top layer of this side as well. But I just sort of quickly want to take a quick look at how this thing actually looks, because, you know, the drone is one of those things. Everything is very exposed on the drone, and I want to make sure that it's looking nice. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to do anything if it's not looking nice, but so far, so good. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Let's pop down to the bottom and take a look from down here. Yeah, you know what? It doesn't look that bad. I'm pretty happy with that. You'll be happy to know that the final few sets of redstone are now going in place, and this is going to be the first half of the sorting system all done and dusted. That redstone right there, that was the final piece of it, and it is looking cool. I mean, this is it. Hopefully I've remembered to place in all of the redstone torches. I'm fairly certain I did do that. So now this one whole side is fully activated, but I have just thought of something. Oh no. Oh, thank you. Basically, you need to place in hoppers that run across like this, that transport the items across the sorting system, because right now we don't actually have those. And I just had a thought that thankfully I can actually fit in that space right there, because if I couldn't, we'd have to destroy this entire thing just so I could do that. So, I got very, very scared then. But yes, this is now all completed. It is looking absolutely wonderful, and I am super, super chuffed with it. Let's just pop out the outside of the base and take a look at it from out here. Yeah, that is looking cool. That is looking cool. And now I'm going to challenge myself to make my way back into the drone with one arrow. Do I only have one arrow? This isn't... Oh my word! I've been shooting myself with my ridiculous bow. That's not smart. I've been using the wrong bow. I've been wondering why my arm has been taking such a beating from this. We've been shooting ourselves with that beast. Oh, spoon count, definitely number 1. So while I've been building this thing, I've been noticing that it is just a tiny bit progress updatey. I mean, this episode in general has been very progress updatey. It's been sort of like, oh look, I've placed in all the redstone. Oh look, I've done all the blocks. Oh look, half the sorting system is done. That's cool, you know, I like the progress updates, but sometimes it's nice to change things up. And now we are going to be doing a third-person time-lapse with a bit of a time-lapse chat, because it has been ages since I've done one of these. And I will just say, I imagine it is going to be much quicker doing this side, because I know what I'm doing now. Last side, I was trying to work out all of the measurements and trying to work out where all the blocks go. Hopefully this time it should run a lot smoother, so let's get down to business. So in today's time-lapse chat, I want to take the opportunity to talk to you guys about something that I don't normally talk about, and that is me and my life, which I know sounds a little bit strange, because obviously these are my videos. You would have thought that would be brought up, but generally I'm talking about Minecraft and progress updates and things, and I don't really bring me into the equation particularly often. So today I want to talk to you guys about my life, because I just looked at the dates and I have been full-time YouTube for around about a year now, which is extremely surprising for me, because it feels like just yesterday that I left college for the final time and went straight into making YouTube videos. And I just thought I'd talk to you guys about my experience with that, because obviously for most of you that is something that you can't really relate to. So first things first, when I went full-time YouTube, the first thing that happened is I became quite inefficient. The first 3 or 4 months were actually really difficult for me, simply because I suddenly didn't have a schedule. I suddenly didn't have somewhere to be at any given time, and that made things quite difficult for me. I guess it was an adjustment period. I didn't really know what I was doing. I left college, and then I was making my videos, but suddenly I had so much free time, and I didn't have someone telling me that I needed to be somewhere, that I spent a lot of time not doing anything. I would wake up late, and then maybe I'll play a few games, and suddenly I'd waste the whole day, and I'd be like, oh, I've still got all these things to do. What on earth? How have I managed to mess this up so badly? And I'd often go to bed really late at night, because I was trying to catch up on the things that I should have done during the day. And then gradually I adjusted to that, and throughout the year I was getting better, but everything has really come together for me in the past 5 or so months. And that was when I decided that I was going to move out of my parents' house, and I was going to get my own house, my own place to start making videos. And it has worked like an absolute charm. Seriously, these past 5 months on YouTube have been the best past 5 months I have ever had on YouTube, because they've been ridiculously good. Obviously, right at the start of that, we hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Now, that is a huge thing. That is something that I've always wanted to do, and that was massive. But most importantly, I suddenly had all this free time, and I had a specific place that I could go to, and I had my own environment in which I could make videos without having to worry about anything else that was going on. So I was suddenly fully in charge with what I was doing, and I have dedicated more and more time to this YouTube thing over these past 5 months, and you guys have been noticing it. As a YouTuber, one of the main things, one of the main metrics that you can look at in terms of how well your videos are going down is the numbers, and the numbers for my YouTube channel have just gone through the roof. I mean, seriously, we are up like 300% on previous months in terms of views, in terms of likes, in terms of comments, in terms of subscribers, in terms of watch time, which is a very important one because watch time means people are actually watching my videos and continuing to watch them. And it's all going incredibly well. Basically, it's all going incredibly well, and I feel like moving out and getting my own place has definitely been a massive, massive part of that. So I just want to say thank you ever so much to everyone who's been watching my videos. Thank you to everyone who's been showing support. It really does mean the world to me, and I hope that you've been enjoying this new side of Mumbo Jumbo, this new and improved Mumbo Jumbo YouTube channel, because I'm having a blast creating it. But anyway, let's pop back onto the Hermitcraft server now. I'm sure you're all getting bored of my rambling. After being a complete moron for around about 90% of that time lapse right there, this sorting system is now all done. There it is, the redstone is in place. Okay, so the sorting system isn't fully completed, of course. We still need to place in the hoppers that take in the items around. So the hoppers that actually transport the items around the sorting system. Obviously, we need to actually get the items inside the sorting system. That's a pretty big deal as well. But the redstone is done, which is monumentous, considering... Did you see what happened in that time lapse there? I mean, I fell off, and then I tried to fly back up to my base using my insane bow, completely forgetting how insane it is, killed myself, then tried to do the same thing again! I mean, what kind of moron decides to do that? And then I died again. And then I placed in all of the repeaters facing in the wrong direction in this area. I mean, seriously, everything went wrong. But we finally managed to get it done. It is looking good. It didn't actually take that long, which is a very positive thing. So now let's crack on with the other bits and bobs. Believe it or not, we are back again at the greatest place on the Hermitcraft server. We're going to chuck in 2 diamonds in there, and we're going to pick up 4 stacks of jungle woods, which is good enough for 2 stacks of hoppers. 2 stacks of hoppers. Is that going to be enough? I imagine that's probably going to be enough. We've done most of the hoppers around the system. I think we've only got a few more to go, but it's always good to have a few extra, isn't it? So this line of hoppers is sort of snaking its way around, making its way about my sorting system here. We're about halfway through the other side, and of course it goes around like this, it then goes down and goes through the bottom layer, and this is what's going to be taking all of our items around the system and dropping them off into all of the hoppers. Now, I think in Hermitcraft Series 3, if I remember correctly, I used water, whereas this time obviously we're using hoppers. I honestly don't know which one I prefer. There's a chance the water could be better, and we might end up changing things up later on in the Hermitcraft series, but for now, this thing is all completed. The actual sorting system itself is done. 100%. We've got all of the components in place, but now we have to work out how we are actually going to get the items into the sorting system itself, because of course we need to somehow get items from down here up into that area over there, and I honestly have no clue how we're going to do it. Maybe I could place a chest over there, and then it takes items up like that, then transports them across. Or we could do... Oh, I just don't know. I hadn't really thought of this. So the launchers are now in place, and if you're asking me, they look absolutely epic, to be honest with you. You've got one on this side and one on this side, and all we have to do is hop up on top of this thing and hit this button, and as you can see, we get launched up pretty nice and high. So this is where our platform is probably going to go, around about here, and then our chest is going to go on top of that hopper line, and that will allow us to place items into that hopper line, which means that they can make their way across the sorting system without having to do any item elevators or anything like that, which is cool because of course item elevators are quite big and quite ugly, and we don't want any exposed redstone out here. So this seems like a pretty good solution to me. Now I've got to say, guys, this has worked so much better than I expected. I was not expecting this to work so perfectly. This is 10 times better than any item elevator, because all you have to do is you stand on the slime block right here, and then we hit the button and we just bounce up onto the platform. There we go, nice and easy. We chuck all of our items in. Those items then make their way around like this. They go through all of the sorters, and if they don't match anything, then they go down like that and into the bottom set of sorters. There's no item elevators inside the system. That's it. That's everything done. It is everything done. That is so easy, and it looks so much cooler than any item elevator I could have thought of. Of course, it's really nice having the glass elevators where you can see all of the items traveling up, and that works wonderfully if you're underground, but over here, I can't really think of how that would actually work. Obviously, we'd have our chest somewhere over here, and then they'd transport themselves up the back of this elevator. Then they'd have to make their way from this area over into that area. I just feel it will look just a tiny bit rubbish. So instead, we have got this system. And it looks wicked. It looks so cool. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I'd love to hear them. But anyway, we're now going to pop into my testing world because I want to check out the order of the items that we are going to have inside this thing. I actually hate having such a large redstone testing world. I mean, I can't find anything. I've been looking around for about the past 15 minutes. I had everything laid out in item frames. Where is it? Seriously, I'm going to have to get my magnifying glass out. Finally, I have located our little template, and I actually worked on this for a couple hours at the end of a much older episode of Hermitcraft. But these are all of the items that we're going to have in our sorting system, all sorted out so that they make sense. So, first things first, we have got ourselves the cobblestones, the stones, the granites, all the things that you find in the ground, and like all the bulk storage things. Then we have got all of the wood and a few leaves. We've got some precious items in the 3x3 area in the middle, and I guess some frequently used hardened clay in the middle as well. Then we have got some more leaves, some more wood over here. We have got all of the slabs and the stairs. That all makes sense. This is good. This is good. We've got miscellaneous items that are just going to filter in, no sorting. Then we've got all of our redstone items. We've got all of our nether items. And we have got all of our slightly strange items. Things like this prismarine. We've got end blocks. And we've got all the red sand and sandstone. The only thing I will say is maybe I might end up changing this because I can't remember ever using any of these. I don't think I've ever used them in Hermitcraft Series 4. So maybe this module will have to change, but other than that, that actually seems to make sense. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be using this system right here in my Hermitcraft Series 4 server. This is what we're going to be doing. Probably in the next couple episodes, we're going to be getting everything sorted out and everything inside the system. Finally, it's been a long time coming, but unfortunately, that is all I've got to have for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please sure to hit the like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.